I'm currently sitting in what was my grandparents' house. I've been paying rent to a development corporation for 5 years. It's on the Canby corridor at 27th, between 27th and 28th. I was born out near actually Musqueam. Currently it's the shared territories of the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations, but I really hold up my hands to Musqueam and knowing that I've grown up near some of the biggest trees, really, probably possibly on this planet.
We use our cedar regalias every single time we sing. And in our longhouse, those are built with cedar. And we don't even have an actual floor in our longhouses because we believe in the connection to that ground so much that we didn't even want to put cement over it. We needed to be able to feel it underneath our feet every single step of the way. So
what's been so painful is to see these deep excavations and then the side gets cladding. It gets like cement cladding. And I think of all that water that can no longer flow at all in that watershed, the False Creek watershed. And I think of the cedar that are already suffering because they're so thirsty and they're picking up their skirts and they're going to another microclimate somewhere else already. And so then if we have these excavations that are essentially with cement, how can the water flow and quench their thirst? So,
what exactly was there before the cement was laid down for construction everywhere around the area? And I found out that before it was built up from the ground, there was a whole bunch of little tiny streams that would all trickle down everywhere around the area. So that brings back to the question that I wanted to raise would be would be what did the elders used to do beforehand in that area? What could we incorporate again so that way they could have that space and reclaim that space again once with their own, not claiming that the land is theirs, but claiming that they can build with the land instead. And even if it's something such as berry picking, which is absolutely so crucial for our people, and it was very popular in those areas as well. And what we can do now is things such as being able to build more gardens around the area that actually have nice fruit on them, even if it's wild fruit. The salmon berries are amazing. so
So yeah, my name's Jenna, and I'm the program coordinator at the Ronald McDonald House. So I guess a little bit of background is the Ronald McDonald House is right beside BC Children's. It's kind of like sandwiched between BC Children's and Queen Elizabeth Park, very close to both. And as the program coordinator, I oversee all of the programming that happens in the house. So all of the therapies, all of like the special activities, and all the fun stuff that goes on. Yeah, so I would have wished that someone had asked the house and the families and the children at this house how that environment benefited them or impacted them.
Could we call up Owl? And I'm just wondering, when you say hello to us, what's it like to live in a tree?
Look out. You see in all directions. But it's more than that. You are connected to the earth, even though you are very high.
The questions I would ask would be, what gifting as an individual, as a community members, as a soul, as a person, as an individual, what do I have to offer? What is my sense of dignity and my sense of appreciating the land? And
yeah, Pakrat, would you like to introduce yourself, please? Pakrat, you're so cool that you're causing a lag. You're so busy running around, we can't even keep up with you. So thank you so much for being here. You can talk to us more about salvaging and about diverting from the waste stream another time.
I say to my trees, I will help you as long as I can. But
yeah, thank you, Janice. And I can see Owl over there is feeling a little emotional as well. And I guess that's part of why we're here is to help find some voice also for all these creatures and these beautiful trees that are living and digging their roots deep into this soil. And
Well, yes, just hearing all of you guys speak about what it is you have said, it's wonderful knowing that things that my ancestors have always believed in, it's carried on even through generations of people who are Quinitams, non-Indigenous people.
What does it mean when you take down a tree? That is the question. Like, oh, those trees, you turn into the house and you demolish it. Oh, there's things inside there. How can we save what we have? There's my question. How can we teach others to save what they have? Have you seen a landfill these days? Sheesh. I don't know. So where do we start? Where do we start? Where do we start?
That's great.
So inspired by your idea of a survey could be an art thing or like an event or have different forms. So thank you so much.
Oh, I thank you. I thank you for listening because it gives me hope. I'm a dragon. I'm just going to fly into another dimension when I get bored of this place.
Thinking about trees, my sister's sitting here with me right now, and we do our Coast Salish performances, and there's a story that my grandfather tells quite often. It's about the 7 sisters that used to live in Musqueam, and one of the sisters, she had passed away. So the rest of the 6 sisters were mourning their sister, and what we believe is that you're not supposed to cry past 1 year. After 1 year is done, you can't cry for them anymore. But those 6 sisters, they kept on crying, crying, crying. They couldn't stop. And the creator, Geelts, he said, well, if you're going to keep on crying, I'm just going to take you with, go and meet your sister again, because I see that you're sad. I'll help you. So eventually, one by one, all of those sisters fell. And we believe in reincarnation as Coast Salish people. So what we believe is that they were reincarnated into these 7 trees in Stanley Park, and they're all in a circle. And it looked as though those branches were holding hands together. And eventually, years later, actually quite recently, within the past couple of decades, one of those sisters, she fell down again. And we all knew not to touch her until she fell. And once she was all the way onto the ground, we were able to pick her back up again, refurbish her into 2 canoes, and one of them was called 7 Sisters. So what the story reminds me of is the ability to have patience, to have that patience to wait for things like trees to fall on their own before we pick them back up again and let them live one more time in a different space, which is perfectly fine.